Looks like we're live.
Look, we're live. I think are we live? Are we live?
I think we're live.
Are we live? Oh my God, can you imagine if we were live?
I'm pretty sure we're live.
We're live. We're live, Maria.
Yay.
We're live. Hey everybody, we're live. So we got to take this URL and we have to send it over to the Facebook page. So I'm going to go over to Nova Honors Facebook and I'm going to say create post, and I'm going to say, hey folks, slight change of plans due to these. Check us out live now on the Nova Honors YouTube channel. And I'm going to, did I just post that? Good Lord. Why is everything so hard?
The world's going kind of crazy.
Why is everything so hard? What am I doing? This is the dumbest live stream ever.
Let's start talking about good stuff then.
Yeah, let's start talking about good stuff here pretty soon. I got to get this over to folks though, so I'm going to copy this URL. Copy that over to here. There we are. Post. Boom. Okay. Awesome. And that's it. Hey, Maria.
Hi, Paul.
How are you?
Doing okay.
Just for posterity, right? I feel like I should tell people what the heck that was that just happened. We had intended to do a Facebook Live with Maria here on Facebook. And due to technical difficulties, I think everybody was logging into Facebook at the same time. I guess a lot of people, I don't know why, because nobody works anymore. So we had a hard time getting Zoom to connect. And so we did a quick little change of plans. Boom, welcome to the Nova Honors YouTube page. So what's fun about that is that there is a link. There's two things fun about this, right? You can't link straight to this from the Facebook page, so it's good. So, just click on it if you're looking for us on the Facebook page and you'll come here. The other cool thing about it is that now you all know that there is a Nova Honors YouTube. So free advertising. Believe it or not, I did not plan this as a way to get everybody to know that there is a YouTube for Nova Honors, but it looks like you all know now if you're watching this. So very cool. So first of all, thank you, Maria, for agreeing to bear with us while we figure out technology.
Happy to.
If we're doing any part of this successfully, it's because we, just like you, are figuring this out about 5 seconds in advance. Everybody just sort of learning how to do all of this on the fly. We just found out yesterday afternoon that Nova is going to be online for the rest of the semester.
Day before that Nova canceled commencement.
Yeah, Nova canceled commencement right before.
Things are happening very fast, and we will learn to adapt.
Yeah, and so everything doesn't go as smoothly as always as you want it to, but no one will be more patient and understanding with people as they are right now, because we're all trying to figure this. We're all trying to figure this out. So to you, the viewer, thank you for being patient while you watched me frantically try to get the URL into the Facebook page for a couple of minutes. We're all doing our best, and I appreciate you doing your best to check in with us as well. So why is all of this so complicated? Well, Maria and I are not in the same place. Hey, Maria, it looks like you're at home.
Yep.
It looks like I'm at home too. Why aren't we in the same place?
Because all the campuses are basically closed and almost everywhere in the world is closed.
Yeah.
I went out to the mall yesterday with my sister. We were putting hand sanitizer on every 5 minutes to make sure like we were safe because we wanted to grab clothes and there was like one store that was open. So
unbelievable.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. And one of the challenges that I immediately started to face when all of this started, I mean, on Monday, I guess, last week was spring break. And, I was out of town and, we were up in Rhode Island, just sort of kicking it in Newport. And we were walking around. It was beautiful weather. I have an Android device, so I had the Google Fit app loaded on there. So every night at like 9 p.m., it was telling me how many steps I got during that day. And it was like 14,000 steps and things like that. I was like, yes, and we get back, and on Sunday was the unpack, do laundry day and start really paying attention to it. But on Monday, I was hunkered down right here in this room for most of the day. And I think I racked up like 850 steps all day long. Right. And I don't think Tuesday was much better. So on Tuesday night, I was like, I gotta get movement into this somehow. Because you could just so easily just sit here all day long, and solve these problems that we have as faculty and as students trying to get all this kind of stuff to work. I burn more calories in my lecture on my feet, that I did for the rest of the day because I'm an on the feet, run around kind of lecturer, and that is now gone. And that was like my primary exercise for some of those days during the week. So, what do you do?
Like I'm not getting as much fresh air necessarily unless I'm intentional about it because I'm just inside.
Yeah. So are you trying to work intentionality for that into your schedule, Maria?
Yes, for sure. My sister and I decided we're going to do regular workouts. So
Cool.
I've now done that like 2 days in a row. But yeah, we just like a nice 30-minute Nike HIIT workout. It was fun.
Nice.
Super nice outside. It's a great way actually, like just to increase your productivity in general, to make sure you have time to go do something active, boost your brain, get your heart rate up.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the strangest thing about it because it looks like a regular March day outside. I mean, the weather's been beautiful these last couple of days, but what are we all doing at home? What are we doing this online stuff, right? And so you have to remind yourself of the craziness of this whole, viral outbreak. Because it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
But I think it is important to remember like the outdoors is not necessarily dangerous. So like you don't have to head into the town,
right,
get your fresh air. You can just stay in your backyard or take a walk in your neighborhood. Like, I mean, follow good safety protocol.
Of course. But
get fresh air.
Yeah, I was on we have some paths that kind of run by the house and by some of the local lakes around. And I took a walk yesterday around one of the lakes, and beautiful day yesterday. And when people would kind of come next to each other on the path and from opposite directions, they would like walk and then they would like kind of go around each other, and then they sort of keep going on. So people would, and kind of separate out a little bit as you walked by each other. And I don't know if I was making this up or not, but I think people are also trying to avoid eye contact as well. It's like you could say look at each other and say hi without giving somebody a viral infection.
Yeah.
But it was the 6 feet did seem to be
people are taking it
observed. I'm not sure that's true for beaches in Florida or the checkout line at Safeway, but when people are outside, it seemed to be a thing. A lot of people walking their dogs.
It's good.
A lot of people walking their dogs, which is cool. And if anybody has any ideas about what they do to get their movement in, just post them on the Facebook page, and we'll see what they are.
Yeah.
The other side of that is that I'm working from home all the time, and so we're seeing the same people over and over and over all day long, every day.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, that's not too difficult of a challenge. It's just me and my wife. I get the upstairs, she gets the downstairs, right? She's banging away on the kitchen table downstairs on her own Zoom calls for her own project management stuff that she does. And I've come to believe, Maria, that you have a different situation at your house.
Yeah, if you've ever taken an honors class with me or been in an honors night with me, that you might know that my family is slightly larger than ordinary. There are 13 of us, including my parents. I'm the oldest of 11. And at this point, we are all currently in the house, like as I'm on this call.
Believable.
2-story house, pretty small. So there's 13 of us, ranging from my parents down to a almost 1.5-year-old little girly. And
Wow.
so we've got like a lot of different energy levels in this house, and it can get really exciting, basically.
Yeah. So what do you do? How do you get Maria time? Right.
Getting up early helps a lot. Trying to be up like around between 6 and 7 is honestly the best time.
And you get the house to yourself pretty much at that.
Yeah, I mean, a couple of my siblings will be up, but usually those are the ones who are out doing their early morning runs. So I can have like one room that's all mine.
Nice. And what are your folks doing with all this? How are your folks doing with this?
Well, in some ways, we're that homeschooler family for whom this isn't like that big of a shock. Because we've already, like, I was homeschooled my entire life. All my siblings have been homeschooled so far. So it could be worse. We were definitely getting used to having a couple of us like out of the house. And those of us who were out of the house were used to doing our work out of the house, instead of like in the schoolroom with 5 other people in there, who aren't quiet like they would have to be in a Nova library. So definitely some challenges to overcome there. Wear headphones a lot. Blast the 80s really loud while I'm doing my papers.
That's hilarious. Yeah,
that's honestly, but I would say like one of my biggest tips, like even when you're working in a house and even if there isn't like that much space, switch it up as much as possible. Switch between rooms. I have like definitely 3 or 4 places that I can take my computer, and if you can move.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Because if you switch up your like actual environmental space and you switch up your head space a little bit, and it's much easier to focus.
Right. So how do you parse out your day? I mean, so when you had said that you were catching up on a lot of your work that you had to do over spring break, right?
Yeah.
And over spring break, we were still. When did they pull the plug? Right at Nova. When did they go electronic? Was that?
It was
Wednesday or Thursday.
Wednesday. So it was right in the middle of spring break.
Right.
And before then, I'd been prepping like. Because I was going to do an honors conference that we ended up canceling.
We would be there right now. Right?
Yeah, we would have been there. But instead, we're here. But I had already done a ton of my homework like in those 3 days preparing so that I could come back from spring break and head off to Birmingham. And then we discovered halfway through that, nope, that's unlikely. And in like 24 hours, we knew that it wasn't happening at all. So at this point, I'm pretty far ahead on a lot of work, which is good. That also means that I have a lot of like empty time in my day that I need to come up with good things.
Yeah, yikes.
And like just not scrolling social media.
Yeah. There are a lot of articles coming out about that these days, about things you can do to not just like scroll all day,
The temptation is strong, honestly.
It is. I mean, I suffer. It's like it's like, why am I just scrolling? It's like I have things that I could do. Why am I read a book?
Uh-oh.
Something happened.
Someone's not happy.
So how long in general do you think it took your professors to get in a place where they're doing their classes online? Did you start seeing things pretty quick?
I had 2 classes that were already online. So the biggest change that needed to be made there was like figuring out how we were going to handle exams, because we won't be able to do that in the testing center anymore.
Right.
But that wasn't the biggest one. My honors bio professor was really on the ball. Like he was giving us updates as Nova was sending updates. So we kind of had things together pretty quickly. My political science professor also had things together like pretty much on time. I didn't feel like I was super stressed waiting to hear from professors,
Very cool.
which was good.
Yeah.
These were both honors professors, so I will say shout out to the the honors faculty.
Yeah, I have the class that I teach, and I was as soon as they started to do stuff, I started doing a build out, trying to be as proactive as possible on the calendar and on my own Canvas site. And in hindsight, I was trying to update everything and transition over faster than information was actually coming out. And so this first couple of days, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and even on Monday, the story was still changing with all of this. The story was still changing, and I kept going into Canvas, putting stuff on the calendar, working it out, and then they're not doing that any longer. Now we're doing this other thing and had to change it. And it's like, that just changed. We have to change that thing. And I ended up changing a lot of stuff on the calendar very quickly, adding things, then taking off, and then realizing later on that I was blowing up my students' email accounts because every time I was putting something on the calendar and taking it off, it was just getting pinged. And I was like, you know what? Turn off notifications for a couple of days. Your Canvas is going to blow up a little bit. On Monday, flip it back on, and I'll see you guys on Thursday. So I just saw my class for the first time yesterday morning, since before spring break, since it's a Tuesday, Thursday, because we had Monday, Tuesday, we're sort of dead days.
Only one of my classes is going to do live conference call sessions. So
yeah, I was going to ask. Like, what's the ratio on that? So how many classes do you have this semester?
I have 4 classes. One of them is bio with a lab. So lab is the only one that I'm like still a little tense about because that just hasn't been figured out yet, which is understandable because bio lab is like one of those things that there just aren't scheduled makeups for. Like you do them in person. That's the whole
you do them in person.
idea.
That's what it is. Yeah.
So making it happen online is just not intuitive at all. But yeah, one of my classes is going to be a conference call session. But my bio class, we're just going fully remote for now. We're going to be studying a lot on our own and taking tests, and that's how it's going to run.
Yeah, I mean, the way that I decided to do it with mine, that what I settled on was it's a science class with a lab, so it's Tuesday and Thursday. His lecture and lab is on Tuesday after the lecture, and so I'm gonna talk to him for an hour or so on Thursdays, where we talk about what's going to come up, what's the next group we're talking about, what is the module going to be for the next week, and then I will check in with them to see if anybody needs any help at 11 a.m. on Thursdays for as long as they need to. Treat it as office hours, treat it as a check-in, treat it as anybody have any questions, since by then they're going to be in the middle of whatever the assignments are. And then I'll see them again on Thursday after that. And and everybody's doing as best they can to come up with the right way to do these things, and the lab and the class I teach, it's a zoology course. It's very hands-on, very dissection heavy, very draw, describe, label the external anatomy of this thing. And it's like, I don't know how you could do that, and I do, Maria, appreciate the way that you phrased that quite a bit when you said you were a little nervy about lab still. And it's not, and you said because they haven't quite figured it out, and that's exactly it. It's not like we know what we're doing and we're not telling you.
Right.
Just like with this live stream, like this live piping, it's like nobody has any idea how they're going to do this, right? So if you haven't heard yet, it's because we just haven't figured it out, and it'll be fine. It'll be fine. We just got to figure it out. No news is no news.
Yeah.
As soon as I'm sure as he figures it out, he'll let you know, but I have no idea what that solution is going to look like. So one of my kids yesterday is like, so what about lab? And I'm like, I don't know. I'll try to come up with something, but I have no idea what the answer to that's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're in the middle of talking about the mollusks, the snails, gastropods, bivalves. And I was like, go to an international food store and see how many different species of mollusk you can find, and give me a recipe for a meal you can eat made out of as many different kind of mollusks. He's like, I don't know. We'll figure it out, but you don't want to come up with something just for doing it. You want it to be meaningful.
Yeah.
And that's the hard part. I mean, you could assign not particularly meaningful stuff for people to do that chews up the clock that looks like it's informative, but nobody really wants to do that stuff. You're trying to do a meaningful thing.
Yeah, I think
That's the hard part.
especially because people are at home without like the external motivators of people around you and
Yeah.
stuff like that. I think people are going to be even more frustrated with what feels like busy work because it's just harder to figure out how to use your time well when it's all up to you.
Nobody wants to waste your time,
Yeah.
It's like trying to come up with stuff is not hard. Trying to come up with meaningful things that does what the intention is the hard part.
I don't know. And there's also this temptation, I think, for me at home to feel like, okay, well, I guess I'm not doing anything really related to school right now, so I can go do whatever I want. I don't know, like I can go and call up people and we can go do things because it's my time now, right?
Yeah.
But also,
yeah,
I'm still a full-time student. So it's hard to make like those mindsets work
it
well
is.
together.
It is. And I'm noticing the same thing. And I don't know how my day has shifted. I was trying to go through that. It's like, what does my day actually look like now? I have more time to do things, and I do again chalk that up to, I'm not sitting in my car, for an hour and a half a day driving back and forth. I'm getting less distracted by just not having so many people around all the time. So it's like when I start something, it's like I actually finish it before I get distracted and don't. And Maria, you know me well. That's something that I struggle with. Very distractible when people are around.
Yeah, I mean, I can be too, because I'm used to working like on campus in the SGA office, actually.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Being
Right.
around there for
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
to,
Yeah.
like ask questions of. So I'm used to like getting up in the middle of something and having to
Yeah.
do it. And
Yeah. And so, like I said, it's like I think my, I don't feel like I'm busier than I was before. I'm getting more done than I did before. And my class on Thursday was great.
good.
Great. It's like everybody was there, webcams on, interactive, asking questions, being present. One of them is in a hotel room in a high rise in Florida,
Oh my goodness.
stuck inside the hotel room, because her flights kept getting delayed coming back, and some of them were canceled. So she's stuck in Florida till like yesterday, I think. But everybody was right there. And we talked about the new way that everybody's going to do things. And we did a check-in to see how everybody was doing. We talked about mollusks a little bit. We talked about the homework assignments, did a little Q&A about anything anybody wanted to know. And then, we kind of let people on with their day, and it was about a standard hour and 15 minutes. But afterwards, I was like, man, that went better than a lot of my in-person classes go. And I don't know what to do with that. It's like, what if we all find out that work from home in the entire scope and scale of higher education, nothing really is lost that much by doing it, and what is lost?
Yeah.
What is lost by doing it this way? And I don't know if I have an answer to that yet, because so many people are doing so much to try to reach out and be connected.
Yeah.
That I feel like I'm almost more connected to people now than I was before, when everybody was physically present, but not as looking out for each other.
Yeah, I don't know. I love like the organic aspect of face-to-face communication. So to me, the idea of like totally giving up that classroom experience is kind of a sad one.
Right.
Particularly as someone who homeschooled for like all of my high school experience.
Right.
Like I took some outside classes and I did some like online and like live classes online where I was interacting with other people, but
yeah.
So like I feel like it's not quite the same as having like a full classroom experience. And a lot about that is community, and I don't know. It's just a very different atmosphere. But I don't know, like looking at it from a productivity level, like how do the two compare? Because they might rank pretty high.
Yeah. And and there's more to the experience than productivity for sure. And I can't imagine your situation, after being homeschooled your whole life. It's like, finally, you get to go to college. Nope, here I am again. here I am again. It's got to be frustrating.
A little bit. I mean, I loved homeschooling and it was a great choice for me
Yeah,
throughout high school, but also like going into the college experience and having like different teachers for every single subject
yeah,
was really
yeah,
great. And I enjoyed that a lot. And I feel like what I am going to miss are things like a good connection with professors in general. Not that it can't
yeah.
miss, it's just going to be more of a challenge. Like in my political science class, our professor is also the faculty advisor for a club that I was starting to attend meetings of. So I see
Uh-huh.
him like both at meetings and in class. We were having like a really good relationship. And I feel like I'm just gonna miss that because there were just some really good conversations
Yeah.
about like
Yeah,
current day
yeah, yeah.
affairs and stuff that came out of that.
Right.
And that's gonna be kind of hard to not be doing.
Yeah, that is a bummer. Yeah, that is a bummer. So, I mean, I feel the same way. I mean, I feel like something has gone from the connections that you have with people. I mean, with just this, with you and me, I mean, we knew each other for a while before this. So it's like, Maria, woo, so we're not forming a relationship in this conversation. And that's not the point of it.
Mhm.
Um, but if that was the position we were in, how would that
Yeah.
be? How would that go? And I don't know how that's going to come out of it because what you find, I mean, face to face is always better for some reason, which is hard to articulate. You get more body cues, you get more interpersonal interaction, in a closer way, a little more nuance to it. Zoom works pretty well, but it's not quite as the same. But it's hard to quantify that. It's like, is it 70%? Is it 80%?
Yeah.
It's 20%, and I do know a kid right now, that I'm, talking with on most days. And, she's really struggling with it. She is really struggling with it. You
Mm,
know, um, she had her campus, she had her location on the campus, she had the people that she saw that kept her grounded, and she's seeing this as all of that is gone. All of that is
yeah.
gone.
I think it's rough for those of us who are graduating and are realizing like we're not coming back. Like they're
Yeah,
going
that's how
to
this is going to end.
come back
Yeah.
next semester, but like maybe I'll set foot on campus before I leave, before I move 2 hours or whatever away.
Yeah,
Yeah, I won't. And that's just kind of sad because I feel like
it is.
for a lot of us in the honors community, like Nova became like a really big part of our lives, even for those of us who, like me, were like initially reluctant to come. And like
Yeah.
the fact that it's all going away is just sad.
It is. And, I started this conversation before we even went live with an apology for all of this. And it's like, I'm not taking blame for it, but it's not what we thought would happen. It's not what we envisioned for, how Maria is going to exit this. Your transcript's going to look the same. Your transcript's going to look the same, but there's stuff you're missing out on, benchmark stuff. You will not walk down the aisle at Jiffy Lube and get your degree, right?
No.
You will have a graduation dinner for the honors program, but it will not be on May 7th. We'll do
Yeah,
something.
we're not doing seal
You're
awards.
not doing
We're
SEAL awards. You're not doing
um,
the service awards. You're not doing.
right.
Um,
No
I'm
leadership
up.
awards or anything
Yeah,
like
I'm up for my 10-year service award.
that. Oh
So
wow.
I've been during your 11th year as full-time faculty. You get your plaque and certificate for being there for 10 years.
Yeah.
On the last day of your 10th year, you haven't been there 10 years. You've been there 9 years and 364 days. So they have to wait till your 11th year to give you the 10 year. And that is like, believe it or not, that is like by law in the Commonwealth of Virginia.
Huh.
It's like, why are you just doing the 10th year? It's like, because you only been there for 9.5 years. It's like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I'm not going to quit before the end of the year, come on, man. But
Of
anyway,
course
that's the way they
not.
do it. So this is my 11th year. So I was supposed to have my 10 year. And nope, not doing that, not doing that. I'll get my certificate for my 11-year service thing next year, I guess. So it's everybody,
Yeah.
you know.
We're all
Um,
gonna feel it.
yeah, it's everybody, and everybody feels it in some kind of strange way. And I think it's pretty widely known that everybody's just doing the best they can. And it's unfortunate, because we do like to send our kids off with a bang, and we do like to have a couple of parties at the end of the year, to get you everything you need moving on, your certificate and your graduation cord and all that kind of fun stuff, your honors
Yeah.
your honors medal, that you'll get. That's a bummer. It's a real bummer. And the real struggle that, the student that I know that I've been talking with about this, I mean, she can learn online. You can do it. I mean,
Yeah.
there's tons of resources that you can
If you
figure
have
it
to, you
out,
can.
but she's like, this is not what I agreed to do when I registered for classes. I didn't take online classes for a reason.
Mhm.
I like my classes in person, and now it feels like that's been taken away from me, and I don't have a choice. And so, I mean, my response to her was, "Yeah, it's been taken away from you, and you don't have a choice." That's exactly what it
Yeah.
is. That's exactly what it is, and it's a bummer.
I
And we're
mean,
gonna do it, and we're gonna do it one day at a time.
yeah, I think it's also just good to remember that like everyone's in the same boat, and
Yeah,
for some people it's pretty rough. Like all high school seniors everywhere are not going to have like a commencement ceremony, and that can
yeah,
be such a deal when you're in high school. And there are people who are like college athletes whose careers are now on the line because of this, because their seasons are canceled.
yeah.
Like
NCAA.
where are they gonna
Yeah,
get recruited now? Because they don't get the chance to show off what they're doing. Like
yeah.
for some people this is serious, this is
Really
huge, and
serious. Yeah.
like it's painful for us too, like we're feeling it, but it is also good to remember like
Yeah, and I
that's
do,
pretty good.
yeah, and I do spend quite a bit of time intentionally reminding myself of that as well, because from a faculty point of view, it's like, yeah, not what I thought, but I'm pretty effective with electronics. I guess we'll be back in May. Whoa, no, we won't be back in May. Well, I guess I'll be back in August. Yeah, that's fine.
We hope
And that
so.
is a very privileged position to come from when I think about all of this. You know, um, because
Hmm.
it's like, I missed my 10-year thing. I guess I'll do an 11-year one next year, and so the personal implications for me are minimal compared to what they are for a lot of people out there. And I do want to appreciate that. And, I spend a lot of time, reminding myself of that as well.
Yeah.
And it's easy to be reminded of that when a kid, calls you in tears, you know, talking about it. I don't know how I'm going to do this because I just can't do online stuff. It's
Yeah.
out of routine. It's out of intention. It's not the way that it's supposed to be, and that's not what she said that she wanted to do when she enrolled. And it's hard. It's really
Yeah,
hard.
I don't think any of us were wanting it, so like maybe there are some people who for whom it will go really well. I feel like for some of us it is just going to be probably pretty hard in general, and I'm not sure like if it's going to get, I think it'll get more manageable, but I don't know if it'll ever get easier really.
Yeah. It's going to be weird right up to the end of it. It's not weird now, and it'll be fine later. It's going to be weird for the next 8 weeks.
Yeah.
It's going to be weird for the next 8 weeks.
No one's used to
Nobody's
this.
used to
No one's
this.
prepared for this.
It's so
So
bizarre. It's so wild. Well, I guess 7 weeks. Yeah, it's Friday, right? So we got 7 weeks.
yeah.
And finals week, and who knows what that's going to be. It's
Uh,
like I don't want to
there's a
freak you
lot
out.
of
It's like who
uncertainty there.
knows what that's going to be like. But I had another student that I was talking with that just didn't know what to make of it. And it's like the words and the messaging that were coming out were clear. But they just didn't make sense enough to interpret. It's like, so we're teaching all online. So do we take our tests at the testing center? It's like, no,
No.
you're not going to go to campus. It's like, so it's only in labs that I'm going to actually be on campus. Then it's like, no, you're
No.
not going to be on campus. So, I'm not going to do any of this until final exams. And it's like, no, right? You are done at Nova. And you are not going to set foot on campus until May at the earliest,
And
for
even then, who knows?
any reason.
So
You're
yeah.
just not going to be there. Sorry, and he's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm like, yeah, freak out. It's weird. Yeah, it's weird. Mercy. So what do we do with our days, Maria? What do we do? What are you doing with your days? So you said you very efficiently and very studiously and very responsively, unfortunately, did a lot of your homework already.
Yeah. So
Yeah, what are
I
you
don't
doing all
know.
day?
I guess I'm trying to be intentional about seeing people where possible, and continuing like what relationships that I can. Some days just aren't super productive. Today I feel like definitely doing school related, honestly.
Yeah.
I helped my mom put dinner in the crock pot. I worked out with
Oh,
my
cool.
sister and gotten this call. Like that's about it. And I don't know. it will have to get more intense later, probably. But trying to do some more reading.
Cool.
I read 1984 yesterday for the first time,
wow.
and that's not something you should read in an
No,
hour.
that's not the time. It's not the time for that.
It actually really wasn't. It was good to read it. I felt like because I'd somehow made it like 20 years of my life without reading
Oh, cool. Yeah.
that particular book. I mean, I read like Animal Farm, but I just hadn't been assigned 1984, so I decided
Pick it up, give it a read. Why not? Yeah. It's thin.
It was wow. I like felt legitimately dizzy after finishing it because I read it way too fast. I read it as an ebook, so.
Oh wow, yeah, you got some I freak out. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, Maria. Maybe you could start an online reading group. Read a book once a
Fun.
week and talk about it for an hour, and move on to the next one.
Yeah. Who's down actually?
We could do. Yeah. We could float that out there if people wanted to.
I do a lot of reading just on a regular basis, so
Yeah.
hopefully we'll do that more. I realize it's a little harder for people now, like that libraries are shut down. But there's lots of online resources. So
yeah, that would be the challenge, wouldn't it? That would be the challenge.
I mean, there are definitely lots of places to do ebooks right now. I'm currently on Scribd, which is it gives you like a 30-day free trial. So
oh, cool. Yeah.
I'm soaking up all the benefits of that right now. After that, I don't know whether I'll keep.
Yeah, if you're going to stick to the classics, you can always go to Gutenberg, and
right, yeah, because all the big ones,
all the big old stuff
for
is
free.
Yeah,
so.
for free. I don't know, Maria. Let's think about this. This might be something we might be able to do.
Yeah,
might be able to do this. It'd be a good
maybe,
one, right? Nova Honors reads the classics.
Yes,
that'd be kind of cool. Well, it's almost time for us to also start designing our next line of T-shirts. For the honors program as well. So we're going to put in a swag order here pretty soon. So Maria, if you don't have anything to do, I might need some help designing a new Nova Honors t-shirt.
I love graphic design. So.
Yeah, so you can start getting your head around that too, if you wanted to.
Yeah.
And the unfortunate thing about that is you're going to design this fantastic t-shirt, and we're going to get some, and then you're going to leave. And and you're not going to get one because they're not going to show up until August or something. So we'll get you one, I'm sure.
Yes, definitely. You will have to.
Very cool. Very cool. So what's on your plate for the rest of the day? We'll worry about that later, huh?
Yeah, probably.
Perfect.
Go on a walk with someone in the evening, but that's
very cool.
About it.
Very cool. Very cool. So we had some stuff coming up next week.
Yes.
That we're going to be live streaming and getting some participation in.
Yeah, if you haven't received an email, then you should go and check your email and see what you've gotten from Nova Honors, because we've had a couple of our ambassadors reach out with details.
A couple
about
few,
the cool Zoom calls that we're about to start doing.
Yep.
Starting next Monday
at 3:30. So the link for that's going to be in the calendar. So if you go to your Canvas calendar, you should see it in there. And around 3:30, go ahead and open that up. And we're going to all just sort of get together and check in and see how everybody's doing and talk about how the Zoom thing is going to work for you and how this Canvas thing is going to work for you. And that's going to be pretty fun. We're going to do it again on Friday, where we're going to have Lacey Fonts at 10 a.m. on Friday. Lacey Fonts is a Nova advisor. She's one of the first-year advisors / counselors, and she's going to talk to us about advising in these new, strange, and crazy days. So tune in for that, and that's on the calendar as well. Then on Tuesday at 2, we're starting a new thing called Tuesdays at 2, where we're going to talk about coronavirus and COVID-19 for about an hour. For all of these, you should bring tea or a fizzy water or a cup of coffee or something, right? Because why not?
Yes.
Why not?
Get the fluids in.
Yeah, and something else that Grace sent out, Ambassador Grace sent out, I think it was yesterday or the day before, with the latest announcement that she sent. We are trying to, as best we can, keep our finger on the pulse of the Nova Honors community and how everybody is feeling. So the way that we're doing this is we have a form that is linked in that announcement that gives you it links to a Google form where you're able to put 3 words that describe what you're feeling. How are you being with this? How are you feeling through all of this? 3 words that describe how a 3-word check-in to describe how all this is sitting with you. Anxious, happy, liberated, sad, disappointed, concerned, curious, right? Whatever you're feeling inside, you can put up to 3 words when you fill it out. And there's a field in there where you can actually say something or ask a question that you want somebody to listen to. And if you have something you'd like to say, what would it be? And you can actually write a little bit for that if you'd like to. But we're going to maintain that for the rest of the semester. We'll be providing weekly updates on how the word cloud develops as we progress through this. And I will also say that Mother Nova administration is very interested in this as well. So you'd be helping us out by letting us know how you're feeling as well.
Yeah, so this is
Nova cares.
a great way to just tell people who you might not ordinarily interact with, like, exactly how you're feeling, because the faculty need to hear it from the students, because we are the ones who are like the most directly affected.
By far, and anytime I hear a faculty member freaking out, it's like, oh my God, it's so hard to move online. It's like, you're an adult. It's like you can work it out, have a Snickers bar and and figure it out. Imagine if you're a 17-year-old kid, who just got the rug yanked out and now is all online. What? Or you don't have a laptop.
Yeah.
What if you don't have easy access to electronics? What if you don't have a reliable cell phone? What if you don't have Wi-Fi at home? What if you're sharing it with 12 other people? What if I guess the 1-year-old probably isn't on the phone yet, but several I'm sure are. What if you're sharing your Wi-Fi? What if you don't have a quiet place in your house where you can focus and study? What if the library or some room on campus was your refuge where you were able to do this stuff? That is gone. That is gone. And that's traumatizing for a lot of people, and it's easy for me to think of solutions to whatever problems I got, but they pale in comparison to what some of these kids are going through.
Yeah, and it's just a weird situation for people who come from homes that aren't safe as well. So shout out to anyone in the situation. Do what you need to do that involves adjusting that, because okay.
Do what you got to do. And that's great for you to mention that as well, because every one of us is in a different situation.
Right, because it might be hard for me to focus at home, but my home is also like a good place to stay.
Yeah. So I guess we should go ahead and wrap this up. Let people get on with it. Thanks, Maria. I really appreciate it.
Happy to.
I really appreciate everything you're doing as an ambassador and all the outreach kind of stuff we're doing. I really have been, I found it a joy to work with you on all this outreach stuff that we're trying to do to keep our community sort of engaged and connected. And it's great to work with you on that.
Thanks, Paul. It's been great working with you as well. It's really fun to be connected more with the community. From both the admin side and the student side.
Yeah, Maria is very responsible. Maria, she does what she says she's going to do, and that's the highest praise. She does the 3 things, right? The 3 things, right, Maria? The 3 things that you need to do, right? That you need to show up on time and do what you said you were going to do. And Maria Copeland,
here for that.
does all three. So shout out to Maria for sure for helping us out with all of this, and it's been great working with you on it.
It's been fun.
And what the irony about this, Maria, is we could have been doing this kind of stuff all along, but we didn't.
I know.
And I try not to think about that too much. It's like we could have done any of this at any time, but we didn't, because
we didn't do it because we didn't
feel like you'd have to.
Yeah.
We're doing enough, but is it ever really? But and those are the ways it's like I actually feel more connected now to the community than I did before.
Mm-hmm. It's cool to see everyone just pulling together now.
It really is.
We are all in this together. So
all in it together. Let us know if you need anything. Pop-ups line, we're easy to get a hold of. You can
send us emails.
Canvas, send us an email. Put something in the discussion board.
Message us on social media.
We're easy to get a hold of in a lot of different ways. So Maria, I will see you soon.
All right.
And thank you so much, and take care.
Bye.
Peace out.